We are at a really neat spot here. I believe you said this area is called Grand Bluffs. And even though the camera may not pick it up, we're perched up above the Sabine River, probably better than 100 feet.
Exactly, you are. And
Yeah,
it's just behind us.
just behind us. And behind the camera right now is your camp building and caboose that we may get a shot of a little bit later on. And
Right.
not everybody has a caboose.
Well, there's not anybody going to take it away from me. It weighs 40,000 pounds.
They got to be serious to come in here.
That's
after
right.
that. Well, it's a good place because I'm sure there have been a lot of time spent around this fire ring that's sitting off to our left, just talking about things. And one of the things that when anybody is doing something, there are always some challenges that come up. And I just wondered what some of yours have been as landowners and tree farmers.
I think one of the challenges that's going to be addressed is growing large timber. I've been fortunate to been able to keep it together. Taxes, when I was first inherited the land, were a pretty good problem for me to meet, and we were able to do it. And I had some help from my mother and father, and we managed to keep it together. But you're standing on about 1,000 acres of land and the timber, and to keep it here and growing, and not cut it too early, just to pay taxes. The younger people are going to find ways that I hope to maintain a large tract and also grow good timber. It's also the other challenge would be this area would be absolutely excellent for a building project for homes.
Yeah.
And I've had many offers to develop this because it's on Grand Bluff. It's got beautiful areas to put homes in. And I do have a neighbor that, 5 or 6 miles from here that has done something like that. But I just want to keep the timber growing, and I don't really want all the homes up here. But it would be profitable to change and go do something like that. And that'll be a challenge for the next generations.
We're hoping they can resist it.
Yes. Yeah.
We're hoping they'll feel like we do about
There are
the
ways
land.
that you can postpone their decisions.
and the other thing is the drilling that is being done in this area. They pipeline and the drill site and for East Texas, it's going to be hard to maintain a timber like I have done because when they come in, they're going to take 3, 4 acres, maybe 5, depending on how far the pipeline goes to hook up the well. And if I were in the cattle business, I could grow grass.
Yeah.
Can't grow one tree on any of that anymore. So it's gone forever for trees.
Yes. Yes.
And
I would say that's probably our biggest challenge
Is
for
with
timber farmers in East Texas.
oil
this
well
area.
development.
Mhm.
And that pressure is probably not going to let up for the foreseeable future.
Right.
Is it?
no, and they're talking 20-acre spacing. Well, they're going to take a lot of land.
20
They're
acres.
talking.
Right.
So it's,
So you got some challenges.
oh yes.
Well, what a pretty place to talk about them. This is beautiful, and I hope you can keep it the way you desire to keep it. Not too many people are willing to do that or able to do that, and I wish you well in that.
Well, thank you.
you.
It's been it's been a challenge because the monetary end of it is tempting, but I just want to keep it for my kids, my grandkids.
Choice is a wonderful thing to have, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I think we're going to go from here, and we're going to look at a new area that you all have started a new forest in, a clear-cut area, and we'll take a look at what are some of the things you see in the future.
Okay.
Okay?
Good.
Thank you very much. Beautiful place.
Thank you.
We're on a different track now. We're right close to the city of Carthage, and earlier we were talking about challenges, and you mentioned one. Why don't you tell us about that challenge and how you see it as particularly challenging to you here in Panola County, for example?
Well, I think one of the major challenges that we have here in Panola County are the oil companies that come in and take our land for to drill wells, and then you have to have pipelines and so forth. And right here we have about 100-foot pipeline that you can see. that we're not able to do anything except pay taxes on it. We can't grow trees on it anymore.
Right. Because you had one experience where you did plant on what you thought was an abandoned pipeline.
Well, that's true. Right, not far from right here. And then all we could do was just mow them down. And so once they are used for pipelines or well sites, you lose it forever, basically.
Can't reclaim those, it doesn't seem.
We haven't been able to.
No.
Maybe an airport?
Yeah, we could make a landing strip just a little wider.
We could widen it just a little.
And it goes from fence to fence. You know, it's all the way across.
Yeah.
It's not just a short distance. And anytime they drill another well, they got to have another gathering line to pick up that well. So that they crisscross, and so we just have multi pipelines in all directions. And
but I just wish the oil companies would work with the landowner a little more than they do. Just be
conservation of land. If you're going to grow timber, you can't own anything they've worked with, and you can grow grass if you're in the cattle business, but you can't grow timber.
Yeah, I understand that.
And we have been growing timber on this tract of land for about 50 years. And now it makes it harder and harder to do that.
Well, one of the things that you probably have looked at, or you've looked at with Glenn, is figuring out how many acres have been taken up by these pipelines and oil wells. And someday there may be some relief there, but it would have to be political relief.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that is a challenge, and it's a battle that'll keep you awake, I'm sure, some nights. Well, let's go from here and look at another tract of land. I think we have another recently clear-cut area that you're getting ready to plant, and we'll go take a look at that.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Well, we're standing here. We've seen another clear-cut on your collective property, and now we're looking at one that's a little bit newer, not quite as far along as the other one. You haven't had a chance to burn this. But when we stand in an area like this that's been harvested, it's a good time to talk about what you see in the future, because you've already taken some steps to build toward that. So what do you see for tree farming in Texas in the future, and particularly for yourselves?
Well, this has been planted once about 50 years ago, and has now been clear cut, and we're planning to plant it again this year, and just let it grow for our family.
That's great.
Future generations.
Future generations.
Right.
So it's, I think it's going to be more difficult to hold places together that have any size to them, because this is really close to the city limits, and as the city grows, Carthage, the people are going to build homes in places like this, and this would have made an excellent home place, except now we also have a well down here that's going to be drilled, so that takes up some of the pretty places, and it also doesn't add to anything about growing timber. It's getting more difficult to hold places together to grow timber.
Yeah.
But we do intend to hang on to it as long as we can, and that's our aim.
Oh yeah, we're not
to try to do that.
We're not changing.
Keep it together.
It's just the next generation's going to have more problems than we're having.
Yeah.
To put it together and hold it together.
They'll have more options, but tougher ones probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, it's a great location near the city. It certainly has a lot of land value, but to be able to keep it in timber, that would be interesting in the future.
Yeah.
See it played out.
In closer proximity to the city, you pay a little more tax than you do out further away.
You bet.
Property tax.
You bet. That's where market value comes into play on it.
But it's been in our family for so long, 150 or 200 years, really. And so we're sentimental about it and like to keep it that way.
I see why you'd want to after having it in the family that long. Well, good. So it's already been planted once, completely gone through the cycle and clear cut, and now you're starting over again. That's good land stewardship. Thank you for bringing us out here.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
It's been a pleasure having you.
We really enjoyed the day. Thank
we
you.
have really enjoyed it too.
Good deal.
Let's break for lunch.
I think it's a sensational idea.
All right.
I'll vote for it.